Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today is Sunday, March 29th. What an interesting week of trading. Had definitely some ups and downs in my personal trading. Ended up the week actually in the positive, which after I believe it was Wednesday I took a kind of a max loss day. Well, I should say a max loss session, and came back pretty much throughout the rest of that day to minimize the loss to just about 1 hour for the day, which was actually a pretty incredible comeback. Just spotted some really nice setups, and it's been funny because I've been noticing that throughout this week and even last week, majority of the good trades have really been coming in the late morning, early afternoon time slots, which for me is not a time that I generally trade a lot, but it's definitely something to note. And again, if you journal and you're using some type of journaling software, or if you're taking, you know, I journal I put things right down in a book, and I have some connected journaling software that I use, some spreadsheets to kind of track my time of day trades, what type of setup it is, risk to reward, things like that. And you kind of have to follow the data. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit there for my personal trading. Let me know in the comments if you've been noticing the kind of the same thing here as well. So with that being said, I wanted to obviously update my weekly bands and my tradable levels. Last week was a little strange, obviously, with everything that's been kind of going on in the Middle East with oil, and the conflict over there. Any headline has just been pretty exaggerated in the markets. And generally, the markets have been tough, man. I've been saying this on my live stream. I say it to my Signal members, and I've been saying this now, I want to say almost since like November, December, about December. It's these markets right now will test your strategy, will test your confidence. They will play havoc on you. And I'm telling you right now, if you've got a decent strategy, if you're using volume like me, or whatever strategy that you have that that's got an edge, you kind of have to keep your faith in the system and adjust where adjustments need to be made. But don't, this is not a time to completely blow up a strategy or retweak every single aspect of it. Slight adjustments are needed. It could be as simple as position sizing. It could be as simple as knowing the time of day that you're been most profitable recently in the last couple of days, in the last week, in the last month, in the last quarter. So, it's the small things. It's not necessarily the root strategy. Now, if you've got a strategy that you're constantly losing money on, that's a different story. I got a volume masterclass that can definitely help you at least come up with what I consider to be a fundamental strategy in the marketplace to identify key areas of liquidity. I call it unbalanced volume. And finding these areas that I show you guys here on the charts every single Sunday and every single day on my live stream. So it's been fun. This Friday I had my Cash Profit Friday. Unfortunately, I ended off the session, my YouTube session, down. I think it took about two trades there that lost at the end. Actually, no, I had I think a break-even trade at the end that was in some pretty good profits in that one, but like I said, the continuations on a lot of the setups have been a little bit difficult. But the one thing I will tell you is, if you're able to tread water, if you're able to squeak out some profits now, when the market even remotely gets just a little bit easier, everything gets super easy, and you're going to start to see your P&L increase. You'll start to see your confidence, the smiles on your face will start to come back. And so just hang in there, stay patient, and hang in there. The trading is a long-term game. It's not tomorrow. It's not the next trade. It's not this week's performance or last month's performance. It's how you can adapt and how um, you can just keep you got to stay in the game. That's just the bottom line. You got to stay in the game long enough to catch the times in the market that things just start getting easier. And once it does, you'll know right away. And at that point, position size yourself up if you have to. That's when you want to start putting the gas to the pedal to the metal. But in times where things are a little bit interesting, like how we are right now, that's where you might want to be a little bit more conservative. Um, Maybe not aim for such huge targets. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But with that being said, let's get into how the weekly bands and the tradable levels performed, and we'll get into my new weekly bands and tradable levels for this coming week. It's a roadmap for the ES and the NQ, and let's get to it. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is out there is at risk for loss. All right, so let's start off with the ES. ES left you guys with a weekly band at the 64.14 to the 67.63. That actually has not gotten tapped into here yet. I'm very, very curious to see the reaction that we're going to get when we come back up to here. We do have a tradable level at the 67.92. I did give you a level at the 66.50, and if you can see here, Monday morning, we had that huge headline. Again, huge spikes on any type of remote news coming in from the Middle East, anything that was coming in from Trump, would cause these huge types of spikes. So you could say, Rob, your 66.50 level didn't really work out. Well, let's dive into that. So let's go into the 1 minute and let's go to the 20-second. So I'm going to have to scroll here a little bit. I can go this way. All right. So my video, let's see if I can open this up here now. My video came out right around here. So this was the Sunday gap to the downside. And as I stated, I gave you guys a level at the 66.50. Now let's just take a look at price action here. So obviously, huge move, right? We're on the 1 minute right now. This was a huge move to the upside. You saw that 15-minute candle was straight up. But what do we see at the actual level? What do we see at the 66.50? Do we not see a reaction at the 66.50? Price action on this candle came right to the 66.50 level that I had. And you can see where this candle closed down here. That, my friends, is a move on the ES, mind you, this is not the NQ, of 22 points. 22 points on that reaction from the level. So yeah, when you're looking at it at the 15, you're like, oh shit, man, that thing just blew right through the level. No, it didn't. It's still respected. This is the only line in this entire move to the upside that the market respected, because there was unbalanced volume sitting right here, and it had to balance this volume out. I say it all the time. I'd rather have, and for those of you that watch my live stream every morning, you guys already know exactly what I'm looking for in my scalps and in my signals. I don't want to see price action hanging around where I have my take profits put in at. I don't care if it hangs around TP2, but I don't want it hanging around TP1 or in between TP1 and entry, because what it's doing is it's just balancing out the volume that I know is there and is sucking out all of that volume that is what I'm using for my reaction. And when you get impulsive moves right to your level, I'm telling you, those are the best setups that you're going to find on these levels and in general. So, and then you can see, if I go, let's say to the 5 minute, kind of paints another picture here. So if we go back here, you can see how this level is just constantly respected here, 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 almost here, maybe a point. I mean, this is already multiple retaps into the exact same area, but you can see, I mean, this is it. You just can't make this shit up, you know? I mean, there's a reason why these levels, I give you guys these levels. These are tradable levels. These are levels that you can scalp from. These bands are going to be extremely difficult to get through. I've already told you the only way that you get through these bands, which I'll show you now on the NQ in a little bit once we get to the NQ analysis. You'll see what kind of occurred with those weekly bands that we had from last week. But these bands are, they're like a brick wall in the market. And I'm telling you, it's a built-in trading strategy. It's given to you guys every single Sunday. And then if you want to even refine it even a little bit more, every single morning in my Discord, I give you guys scalping bands. So those scalping bands are not as strong as my weekly bands, but they're bands that you can take extremely good scalps from. They're extremely good if you want to use them in your own strategy, so you know that you're not longing into an area that you know there's going to be resistance in, and vice versa. So it's I'm hoping that this is helping out traders. I spend a lot of time doing these videos on Sunday, and every single Monday I come out and I give you guys these scalping bands and levels every single day. And I hope you guys take advantage of it. All right, so let's get rid of this level. This weekly band is going to stay exactly where it's at because we haven't tapped into it yet. So let's put in our new weekly band for the week, and the new one's going to start at the 65.98 to the 65.57. Again, that's going to be the 65.98 to the 65.57. Boom. Sitting above where price action is currently at. Again, if you want to get all of these, all of my bands, all of my tradable levels every single Sunday, it gets delivered in an email report. There's over 2,000 people on that email list. It's just one email. It's all it's got is the reaction, my weekly bands, and all of my tradable levels. It's nice because that way you don't have to go through the video. And well, I hope you guys watch the video because it helps me. But at the same time, it's a clean format for people that want to just grab these bands and chart them up on their on whatever platform they're using. So let's get into our second weekly band here, which is going to be sitting at the 64.90 to the 64.51. Again, that's the 64.90 to the 64.51. Okay, so again, also above where price action is currently at. Let's get our new tradable levels. Our first one is going to be sitting at the 65.63. 65.63. That's going to be sitting up here in this weekly band. Our next tradable level is going to be sitting at the 64.49. 64.49. Right below where this new weekly band is currently sitting at. And our third and final tradable level is going to be at the 64.64. 64.64. Boom. Right in the middle of this weekly band, sitting right here above. Again, I'm going to give you guys the exact same disclosure as I give you guys every single Sunday. Just be super aware of the Sunday open. Typically, there's going to be a gap in the market. So we could leapfrog this weekly band right up here. We could obviously gap to the downside. We could close pretty close to where session close on Friday occurred. So if we get a gap right into the weekly band or into the tradable levels, that doesn't mean to just short them right from there. You know, if we get a gap to the downside, then yes, we want to wait for price action to come back up. And this is the area that we want to short from. This is an area we want to short from. But if we gap above it, the dynamic changes here a little bit. These will still become areas that the market is going to want to balance out. But now we might want to fade it back up to the upside. Okay, so just be very, very cautious with the Sunday open, and you know, obviously use some common sense in the weekly bands and tradable levels. So now let's jump over to the NQ, which the NQ is a little bit more tricky because If obviously Sunday video came out right around here. And we blew through 1 weekly band, 2 weekly band. We blew through the 3 tradable levels that I gave you, all on this power candle. I mean, this is an insane candle to the upside. Again, you drop down to the lower time frame, to the 1 minute, you're going to see reactions at these levels that I had marked out. But unfortunately, these weekly bands got completely swiped through. And, you know, it's a statement that I give you guys every single Sunday. There's only 3 things that will get you through these weekly bands. It's going to be headline news, which is what played into this bar right here. There is going to be high impact news. So if we've got PMI or FOMC, those could be scenarios where they might be able to break through a weekly band. And the third and final scenario to get through one of these bands is multiple retaps into the same band. But let's just say it's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday morning. It's 10:35 Central Time. We got no high impact news. We got no headline news. We come into one of these weekly bands, you got to be shorting from here. I mean, this is a barrier in the market, and for the market to get through one of these bands is going to be there's over an 85% chance that you're not going to break the top of this band without a reaction to the downside. Again, without those 3 criterias that I spoke of before playing into effect. So with that being said, all of these 3 weekly bands need to get updated. I've got some new tradable levels here for you as well. So let's start from the top to the bottom. I think it shouldn't confuse. You know what? I'm going to start from the bottom. So let me get rid of the tradable levels. And let's go into the band here. We'll start from the bottom. 23,816 to the 23,707. Again, that's going to be from the 23,816 to the 23,707. Should be sitting right below here. Here's your new weekly band, sitting below where price action is currently sitting at. I'm sorry, above where price action. We had such a big drop on Thursday and Friday. So above where price action is currently sitting at. Now let me update this guy. Should be sitting right above it. 23,981 to the 23,887. Again, that's the 23,981 to the 23,887. There's your next weekly band sitting above it. Actually, you know, this is kind of a sandwiched band here in between, but I'm telling you, take a look at your charts. The way that the market has moved over Thursday and Friday, it's going to have a lot of fun with the unbalanced volume that it's got sitting above it currently. And I can't wait to trade it. All right, the third and final weekly bands at the 24,227 to the 24,148. And again, that's the 24,227 to the 24,148. Beautiful. So these are your 3 new weekly bands here on the NQ. Now let's get into our 2 tradable levels for this week. We've got one at the 23,719. Sitting, oh, forgot to put the label on there. That usually helps. 23,719. Okay. That's sitting above where price action is currently at, sitting at the lower end of this weekly band. And our next tradable level, next and final, is at the 23,500. So that's going to be a little bit lower than, and then I got coordinates 23,500. Yeah, beautiful. So again, this is one that you definitely want to be careful with on the Sunday gap. Even this weekly band could be in play. We've seen how dramatic the gaps can be on Sunday. But again, if we gap right into this band, right into this level, we're not shorting from it directly. If we gap above it, that might be a scenario where we can fade it back to the upside. Just again, use some common sense here when it comes to the levels. So that's getting you prepared for the NQ and the ES. Again, if you want these levels, just go to my website. It's robstrades.com. Right on the homepage, it'll ask you for your first name and your email. Again, it's 1 email per week, and it's a really nice formatted, clean version. Hope you guys want to. Hopefully you guys will come and watch my live streams here. I live stream every single morning at the market open at 8:30. Pretty damn close to my 10K goal for the month. I think we're currently sitting at about 7,900 for the month. So I'd like to see if I can get that done here before the end of March. And again, I've got these beautiful prop firm companies that are flashing up on your screen. I have affiliations with Apex, Tradeify, and Lucid. If you are considering, getting into the prop firm game, or I know there's a lot of influencers that you can use their codes on, but I would always support the channel if you use Trader Rob. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and look forward to the trading week ahead. Take care, everyone.